universe voice is actually working now. Hello, hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. So my name's Brandon.
Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Mac.
Nice to meet you, Mac. Alright. So in your message you said you wanted to focus on learning how to play Irelia, correct?
Yep, yep,
So since you're Plat 5, correct?
yep.
I'm going to assume that you understand the basics of the champion, that you played her before, and
Yeah,
have at
I
least
played her. I played her 3 times, so I
okay,
got
that's
it.
that's maybe not enough to understand all the basics, but uh, I'm looking and checking your match history right now, and I see the 2 games that you played. I don't see anything really wrong with your builds. They're both pretty good. I don't know what the team comps look like. I'm not gonna go too much into that because that's how it is at the moment. I assume you use your Virun page.
The what?
When you play Irelia, I assume you use your Virun page, right?
Um,
Or do you use a
One
different
second.
one?
I use peanut butter.
Interesting. Okay, that's an interesting rune page. Um, I personally don't like it that much because it really makes it so that you're able to be capitalized really hard in the early game where you're weakest. Because Irelia doesn't get very strong until she hits level 4 or 5. That's when she really excels at like dueling people after you put a few points into the Heaton style. Um, I personally like this is just my preference because I run flat AD reds, armor yellows, or maybe scaling HP or armor depending if I'm up against an AP matchup or whatnot. Scaling MR blues and then attack speed quints because that helps kind of balance out your power curve a little bit on her.
hmm
The AD lets you last hit a little easier and effective like trade a little more effectively early on when Heaton style isn't as potent. And the attack speed just helps as you level up and gives you a nice smooth scaling into your power spike at Triforce. With this, you'll notice that you'll have like a lot lower early game, like the rune setup you have now, you'll have a lot lower early game power. Um, but your spike will still be the same essentially. This just kind of helps smooth out the curve and make it not as jarring.
So you said to run
Flat AD
flat
reds.
flat AD reds. Here,
Yeah,
I'll change it.
yeah. I usually run flat armor yellows as well, unless I have 20 pages, so I have some liberty with what runes I want to use. But generally, flat armor is best. Scaling MR and then flat AS quints. That's a good rune page to have. That like I said gives you that smooth power curve that you're looking for on her.
You said 3 attack speed quints.
Yes. If you don't have them, then it
I have
sucks.
2. So
Okay, yeah, you could just like feel free to run an AD quint if you have it, and then like replace. I think it's 3 of your reds with attack speed, and that should be about the same thing until you get that.
another.
Uh
Yeah, I
huh.
was just trying to follow. Like, I didn't really know what to do because I'm kind of new with Irelia. So I was
Yeah.
actually, I was just following that, try to follow that guide, which is probably not the best thing to do. But I was trying to follow the runes, and I didn't have the flat 8 health runes, so I just went with scaling health. That's why it
Yeah.
was like that.
Irelia carries you like his builds. Like he's a good Irelia player, you know. But
hmm
the problem is he has a much higher understanding of the champion. So like he's able to get away with things like this. When you make a guide, you have to tailor it to people who probably aren't as good at the champion as you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
Because like, he knows this champion inside and out. Because it's like it's essentially one trick pony at that point. So he can play this champion just easy peasy, and get away with certain things that most people wouldn't be able to. But yeah, that's like a more standardized rune page for people that aren't like utter gods at her.
I see.
um, but yeah, like as you get better, you can switch over to these if you feel like it. But like this just gives you that more rounded power.
And you run a scaling MR.
Yeah, scaling MR is pretty much always better than flat MR because by like level 7, 8, it's gonna be outscaling, and that's when you're really gonna start to want the MR.
Even if you're like against like a champ, let's say Rumble.
Yeah, even
Like,
if you're against like Rumble, Lysandra, because like their early game, it's gonna be potent, but they won't have much they pen outside of runes and masteries. And by the time they start getting that magic pen, like a Rumble gets a Haunting Guys and Sork Shoes, you'll have scaled up enough MR. Your level will be high enough to the point where you would have outdone the flat MR runes anyway.
I see. And Irelia scales really hard, from what I understand.
Yeah, she scales into the mid game extremely well. Like, she's one of these.
How about late? How about late game?
Late game, she's still really good. She falls off a little bit in power when people start like buying defense and stuff, but she still's got really good sticking power and a lot of hard CC, and can generally make an AD carry's life hell, or a mid laner, depending on who you're trying to stick on in that situation. So yeah, the masteries are fine. If you want to run those, like I don't see there's no problem with those. So I've just been having. All right. So first question: do you have the capability to stream or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and just what I've been having people do is having them hop into Team Builder because it guarantees you to get the role and champion that you want to work on. It may take a little bit of time, and the quality of opponent may be a little lower than you'd like, but it allows me to like see things, point things out for you, like problems I can see with your gameplay, with your champion knowledge, and things like that. So just things you can work on in general. Like,
I see.
yeah, I had my very first coaching lesson was a like Plat 1 Irelia player, and he kind of was skeptical about going into the team builder and doing that, but he said he thanked me afterwards, so I think it's a pretty good way.
Okay. I was wondering. So, do you usually take teleport or ignite, or is it totally?
More often than not, will take teleport. I only take ignite into like super hard matchups, like where snowballing is a big deal, like Riven or Fiora or something like that. But generally, I'll take teleport because Irelia has so much lane pressure just on her own that you can use the teleport to like create map pressure as a top laner.
So against someone like, let's say Jax, he's not very popular right now, but would you take ignite or teleport
I'd
against a
take
champion like Jax?
teleport against Jax because it's essentially just a skill matchup. That matchup is. So he's gonna want to split push later in the game, 100%. Like that's what Jax does. That's his thing, and you're basically gonna have to be the one to stop him. So being able to teleport with your team while being able to hold off his split push is really good. So that's how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, this queue could take a little while, so if you have any questions that I can answer, just, verbally, like about the champion, about laning in general, anything really, feel free to just go ahead and start asking, and while we wait.
Trying to think. So, I'm just curious, this is not regarding Irelia, but
Go for it.
how's Riven in Diamond? Like, is she...
she's a really high, she has a really high skill cap. In order to play her well, you actually have to really understand the champion and being able to do all the animation canceling, understanding when to shield and stuff like that. Box for example, he gets that champion. Like you have to play it at a really high level in order for her to be
My my
super
friend was
successful.
telling me how my friend was telling me how like he's a diamond player and he was telling me how Riven's not really good in really high elo because people like if you don't have flash you're pretty much useless because people can just kite you.
That's
That
completely untrue. But she's got so much mobility just built into her kit. Like there are ways of completely negating kiting if you essentially what you do is you shoot for 40% CDR with her and you can roll your Qs. So you Q, you wait till it's almost off, you Q again, and then you wait till that one's almost done, then you Q for the third time. When you Q for the third time, the cooldown's already done, so you can just go right back into another sequence of Qs.
oh I see.
So it makes her like extremely mobile, especially if you use it to hop walls and stuff like that. Like she's really potent in the correct hands. You just really gotta know how to use the champion, and she's like one of the few champions in top lane that can just completely hard carry a game. So you just have to be. She's. It's not so much that she's not as good. It's just that it actually requires skill to play her once you go start getting into like diamond.
Would you say that Irelia is not a like? Do you need a lot of skill
Oh,
to play
you still
Irelia?
need a lot of skill with Irelia too. She requires a lot of situational awareness in order to play. Like a lot of champions require a lot of like. There's some champions that don't require as much skill, like say Lysandra. You just throw Qs through the wave, clear it, and if someone steps too far forward, you flash R and they die. Like there's not much. There's it. Yeah, there's a few things like more in depth that you can go about there, but like that's essentially the champion.
All right. Yeah, one thing that I really have trouble with is like laning. I think it's mostly laning phase I have trouble with. Not with Irelia in particular, just
In
in general
general.
champions, because I'm not very good at CSing. That's kind of
Okay.
my downfall.
Okay. Well, that's like CSing is just something that you have to practice. That That's not really something that's teachable. That's something that you just kind of have to go into a custom game, pick up the champion that you want to play, and just go into a custom game and start farming with them. Like, no, in a no pressure situation. Like, this is how I like this. These are some good farming exercises that I found. Just by reading stuff. What you do is first you go into a game with no runes, no masteries, and CS with the champion. Once you hit 100, like you want to shoot for 100 CS at 10 minutes. Once you get that, you add an opponent. Do the same thing. You add a lane opponent. You do the same thing.
Mhm.
Once you do that, you add two lane opponents, and you still try and get as much farm as you can. Because with intermediate bots, they play relentlessly aggressive. Like those, like
Huh.
get bots. Yeah, they're bots, but they will try and kick your ass at level 1. And without runes and masteries, they very well will kick your ass at level 1. So it really teaches you how to farm under high pressure situations. And then after you feel like you're farming well like that, then you just turn on your runes and masters and you go, holy shit, farming is easy.
I see. Yeah, it's mostly just farming under pressure. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of hard. Like knowing when to like auto them or like kind of trade with them versus CSing.
Yeah.
Kind of.
A good indicator of when you should trade like that is you should be looking to trade at the enemy when you have a minion advantage. Because if they
Right.
trade back to auto you, all your minions are gonna get on them, and it's gonna fucking hurt. Especially if you manage to stun them when your minions all turn on them. Like, say someone autos you and you just stun them immediately afterward and start autoing them back. They're gonna take some damage.
And if hypothetically the enemy pushes lane harder than you push lane and they hit two before you do, you just kind of back off.
Yeah, you back off, especially if they're a heavy all-in champion. Just kind of like let yourself get denied a little bit if you need to for gold, and then once you hit level 2, like you can start farming again. Generally, with Irelia, I just let the enemy push into me early on, cause like I said, she's a little weaker in the really early stages of the game, like level 1, 2. But by level 3, then you can really start pushing your advantage.
And I was watching Irelia carries you, but it was kind of like an older game. But from what I understand, Irelia gets her really big like spikes at like 7, kind of like to 9,
Yeah.
kind of. Just
Yeah,
becomes really strong.
5, 7, and 9 are massive spikes because like that's 45, 60, 75 true damage a swing. It's pretty massive. So like, and most people like, especially if you're going up against like your Riven or whatnot, will be building straight damage so you can just tear through their health bars. Or anyone that decides to build armor over health first.
And another thing is, when you're fighting someone, do you try to time your alt like each blade so that you get a spell blade like your Trinity
That
Force
yeah,
procs
that
with it?
that depends. If I'm in an extended fight where I need to do that, yes. Most of the time though, I actually just use my ult in trades. I go in, I stun someone, pop my W, start autoing them, and then just start spamming R. Cause what it does is it does extra damage, yeah. Like you could use it for the extra Triforce procs, but it's doing extra damage and also healing you through the damage that they're trying to put back onto you. Like your R healing, like aim it through them and as many minions as you can find, like find the best path to hit the most targets. So you heal up the damage that they're doing, and it just helps you win trades better because it's such a low cooldown.
Okay.
In like extended fights, though, yeah, it's situational when you want to do each one. Like definitely look at the situation before doing anything. But that's like my recommendation. That's how I use it personally.
And this is kind of getting more complex, but if you have like a GA, if you have GA on Irelia, which is from what I understand kind of common,
Hmm.
you should, and you ult and you're about to die, you should only use like, you shouldn't use all your blades because when you die and then respawn, then you'll get
Yeah,
it'll
four
reset
blades
your
again. It's
ult.
really silly, but yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. Hmm.
So do you kind of, you don't really, do you main Irelia? Is she like one of your mains?
I play pretty much everyone. Like my main, like if I had to pick a champion and say that I main this champion, it would actually be Yasuo. Um, he's by
Really?
yeah,
That's kind of
he's by far my favorite. Um, I also play him top lane. He works really well against hyper tanks like Maokai, Malphite, etc., because they like to build really tanky first off, and you essentially get a free laning phase, which is one of the weaker portions of your game. And you can pressure them while they're weak, so it's a nice little trade-off. Uh, but yeah, I play a lot of Irelia in like ranked fives and tournament settings, so she's a really big go-to, like a staple for our team, kind of. That's just something that I play well, and it's been like banned out against me and stuff. So
And you'd say she's a really good solo queue champion.
yeah, she's good at solo queue. She can do some hard carrying if you're good with her.
So I'm against a Nasus with Ignite and Teleport. So
That sounds
is it
cheesy as fuck.
do you usually? I guess the usual build is Duran's Blade.
You can go Doran's Blade, Flask, Cloth, depending. It's all up to how you feel.
Could you go Shield too if you wanted?
Shield works too, yeah.
I want Blade.
Okay.
I kind of
So,
like Blade.
yeah, just with that build, you have a lot less mana sustain, so you have to be kind of cautious about where and how you use your mana. But you're
Okay.
really strong in trades, so you can auto attack really hard.
Another question is, do you often if I want them to push, like you said, you often let the enemy push. So do you stay and spawn and for like wait for like a second potion or no? Is that kind of
No, I don't do that. What I do is generally I have to help my jungler, so I get to lane a little late anyway, because my
okay?
jungler starts topside. But what you can do is if your jungler starts on the opposite side as you, this is getting into advanced minion wave management type deal. But what you do is you aggro the first three, like the melee minions in the enemy wave by moving up slightly, and then kind of leading them into the like into the middle bush of the three, and that will force them every single minion to attack the first minion in your wave, which will automatically start the lane pushing towards you.
Huh? That's cool.
Yeah, that's starting to get in like advanced minion wave
Pro
management
tips.
stuff. Though. Yeah, that's some advanced level shit right there.
And you always start E.
Most of the time E. Like I'll start Q if I'm up against ranged, but most of the time I'll start E.
All right.
It's just really good at level 1 because it's like a stun, keep him in the minion wave.
Often E then Q is
Yeah,
it?
that's what I usually do. E Q W W.
So against someone like Nasus, do I want to pressure him early?
Yeah, you're gonna want to start putting the heat
Because
on,
I'll.
because he's actually got a weaker early game than you, and you can abuse the shit out of that. Like, especially if he decides to do the patented Nasus, I'm going to rush Frozen Heart. He's gonna be really squishy, because you essentially get your magic and your true damage first. So, yeah, you do like auto attack damage, but like physical damage. But you're also doing heavy amounts of true and magic. So,
Okay, I got first blood.
very good. Alright, I just loaded into game, so I'll start throwing commentary out about things that I see that could be improved on, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and I think E resets your autos.
Yeah, it
Your
does.
auto, right?
It does.
Okay.
Well, it's not really a reset. It's like, kind of like Lucian's. How people assume to refer to Lucian's Q as an auto attack reset. It's just something that you can do in the downtime between your swings that will make it like you can either auto like UE. It doesn't. It's not like necessarily auto attack reset like Nasus's Q, Rek'Sai's Q. Like one of those. But it just that cast time fills up the void between your auto attack swings. And so when you're done casting your E, you're ready to swing again. So it's an auto attack, it's reset in that regard.
Okay, well, I just got I'm kind of getting camped in a way.
Okay, so in that situation, what you want to do is you definitely want to
I got
start getting wards then.
so I got ignited by Nasus, and then Xin Zhao ghosted to try to get me. So I had to flash away,
That's
but
fine.
I
Yeah.
lived.
But definitely, if
Yeah,
you get two
I have
summoners
TP
out of them,
so.
yeah, that's definitely worth two summoners for your flash. Like, yeah, because that Nasus has no escape. He cannot get away. If he decides to pick a fight, like he's in it till the end, essentially.
Yeah, he doesn't have ghost or flash, so
Yeah, so
he's-
you can just like you can pick and choose your fights against him. Xin burning ghost and you getting away. That's really good. That you got the combat summoner and Xin's ghost out. So I'm about to.
cool.
Alright, minions just spawn and they're running down the lane, so I'm about to start seeing laning. So
So is it good to shove lane against an Nasus or no? Just try to freeze it. Probably better,
it's
right?
probably better to freeze it just to deny him, force him to walk further up, especially since he has no escape. If making him walk further up to a point where he's not as safe from ganks, like any potential ganks or anything like that, is probably a really good idea.
Okay, I got another kill on him.
Very nice. Yeah, like you have such a strong advantage over him. Like, what the fuck? I'm watching his lane movement. It's really weird, but I think he did the cloth 5. Did he do cloth 5? No, he did flask. So yeah, he's like really weak early on, because he went full consumables and he's trying to fight you for some odd reason. The thing is, when you go full consumables like that, you're looking to get the enemy to push in on you. When you go Doran's Blade, you're looking to push and fight, so... Yeah, he shoved up the lane really weird. He's playing the matchup really poorly, it looks like.
I guess I think a harder matchup for Irelia might be like a Malphite.
It's still not as bad as you'd think. Looking at
Would
this.
Riven be really bad?
Riven is definitely a big skill matchup. That auto attack was fucking silly. Anyway, Riven's a pretty difficult matchup because just on the sole fact that she can essentially outplay you at any point in the game. So you have to be really careful. Oh yeah, you went back in before. I see what happened there. Okay, yeah, you went back in before Zen had finished recalling, so Yeah, you got a little greedy for CS there. So yeah,
Okay,
in that
my
situ-
jungler just dove and died.
yeah, there's nothing you can really do about that. So in that situation, there you use Zhao as like just topside. So trying to go back in aggressively when you're that low probably isn't the greatest of ideas. Cause
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like factoring into account little things like that. Your shopping could be a little faster as well. Like I see
Yeah,
that
probably.
you changed your mind about what you wanted to do item wise.
Yeah, I was kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheen first on Irelia is actually really good, as well as the Phage. Like, it can go either way. Sheen's really good for, like, super high burst, for, like, essentially snowballing your lead when you're ahead. Because it gives you that, like, burst so nobody can really trade with you. In short trades, and even in extended trades, it will proc multiple times. It also helps with your mobility aspect in the lane, because you're able to one-shot caster minions with Blade Surge. Well, not one-shot them, you're able to kill them at a higher threshold.
Yeah, what I was seeing though is I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough for Sheen, so I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you can just
I
buy
didn't
the
have enough for
parts
Sheen.
too. This Nasus is playing really weird. He's not respecting your damage output, it looks like.
Ah.
You're doing really good just not wasting a lot of mana by blade surging for CS, because that's the thing that I notice a lot of new Irelia players will do. They'll be like, oh, my Q resets on cooldown and gives me mana back.
Yeah.
And they'll just like go Q,
Mana.
Q, 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 and it's like, where'd all my mana go? So that's really good that you're not using that too much. Your farming's coming along really nicely, like, nothing to be ashamed of. Yes, Nass is just totally
Yeah.
disrespecting you as a champion, it looks like. See, they keep stepping forward without escape. Yeah, see, it's unfortunate that, like, the skill gap can be quite big sometimes like this, but it's a way to guarantee you get the champion you want. It's also a way for me to just point out these, like, little things. Because once you get to a certain point, like, it's the little things and the more advanced stuff that you wouldn't really, like, think about, but, like, that minion thing I was talking about earlier, that really helped improve your gameplay. Oh
Ah.
my god. Yeah, Yi did not need to meditate right there.
Yeah, I tried to save him, but
Oh, that was all his fault. Holy shit. That was alright, good.
I
So
tanked the tower.
you're not afraid to use your ult to shove, that's really good. Oh, that's a lot. That's another thing. Like Irelia players, the newer Irelia players are really conservative with their ult. Just spam that thing. Use it to clear waves. Use it to do like harass. Use it to just, if you feel like using it. It's got like a 60-second cooldown or something like that, so you can afford to just use it whenever you want to. So I don't. All right. So it looks like you do understand the basics pretty well when it comes to laning. So I really don't have to gloss over that. I can start talking about some more advanced things. Um, that's good from my perspective. So one thing I want to point out right now is that it's your second back. Like you backed the second time, right? And you still have you bought 2 wards, but you still have a warding trinket. It's pretty much if you're
Yeah.
spending money on wards, just get the sweeper. The ward lasts longer, and the sweeper allows you to like put more pressure on the enemy while in lane. It's just something that's good to remember to do around your second or third back. Just get that sweeper. Maybe even your first back if you feel
Wait,
comfortable enough with it.
sweeper?
Yeah, the sweeping lens.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, sweeping lens on
So
your second
I
or
can
third
do
back.
ganks.
Yeah, it allows you to
Even-
set up for ganks. Oh, go ahead.
Even if other lanes are having trouble though, like really, then
Yeah.
jungler can't help me. Should I still get sweeper?
Yeah, because it just applies that pressure. You know, if you're buying wards, they last longer than your warding trinket. And Well, it lasts 60 seconds longer than a level 9 warding trinket does. It's 2 minutes longer than a level 1 warding trinket. So being able to sweep wards like that makes it so they don't know what's happening in that area. It essentially ensures vision control, which is really good to have. Like vision control is really paramount when it comes to being able to pressure. Also, with your teleport, be sure to like watch other lanes while you're laning if you can.
So I can look for like ganks and
Yeah, look
stuff,
for any
right?
ganks, any opportunities you can use to turn the tides on the battle or just save a teammate. Those are all really good. Yeah, you have a ward in your inventory, but you haven't placed it. Yeah,
Yeah,
here comes Sin.
I make a I make a really bad trade. Yeah. Twice, actually.
If that auto went off, you would have got him. But yeah, wards don't do you too much good if they're sitting in your inventory. That's something that I struggle with a little too, so it's not like something you need to be super worried about. But just remember that, yeah, buying wards is good, but using wards is better. Also, when it comes to late game, you're essentially what a top laner wants to do is manage these side minion waves that are pushing in, because you know you have your major objectives like Dragon and Baron, um, and if anybody really shows their face, doesn't have like a massive amount of movement, it can be really difficult for your team to respond to a Dragon or Baron attempt like that. Oh, I think, yeah, this is where you try and dive. And, a little overzealous there.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah, it's,
Kind of messed up there.
it's fine. Like when you
I
get a
got the
lead,
kill though.
yeah, when you get the kill, it's good. But when you have a lead, essentially what you're looking to do is just not throw it, because that's like overconfidence is a really big problem in all elos. And all levels of skill. When you get really fed, just thinking you can do essentially whatever you want, and it leads to some pretty poor decision making. And this happens, like I said, it happens everywhere. But being able to curb that and just saying, okay, I'm ahead. How can I make myself more ahead in a safe fashion?
Right,
You know,
like
assessing
take
risk,
right.
assessing risk versus reward in those situations, and finding what has the highest reward with the lowest amount of risk. It's
I
a
see.
it's you know it's not going to be something that you do every game. There will be some games where you just throw horribly because that's just the nature of the game. But it's generally a good idea to keep that in the back of your head. Anyway, as I was saying before about teleport, it's essentially used as like you can manage the side minion waves. So say like Baron's the objective, you can go bot lane and manage that wave while your team dances around Baron because you know you have that global map movement. Yikes, this
And if you have
nest.
a lead, do you want to take the first tower if you can or no?
Yes, yes.
Do you
You
want to?
always you want to take towers as soon as you can, generally, unless you get like a stacking item and you're just being completely BM about it. But taking the first tower allows you to start roaming and creating pressure elsewhere because it gives you more time before you have to deal with your minion wave. So
So
like,
take it as soon as you can.
yeah, take it as soon as you can, and then you can start roaming around like while your minion wave's pushed up and helping out your other lanes in that time. Like
Like, is it
helping.
worth it to die to take the tower?
No, I generally don't feel so unless it's like an inhib tower or something like that. I don't feel like it.
No, just like early, like kind of early game.
Yeah, so like when you take that first tower, it gives you more room to before you
Okay,
have to manage your waves. Oh,
that's kind of dumb of me.
got a little greedy for that Varus.
Yeah, I'm being kind of greedy this game. Not
Yeah,
good.
it's fine. Your score's doing well. You have good farm. Could be a little better, but it's good. And you're just overall doing well. So it's it's fine. It's just trying to curb that aggression a little bit because it did lose you a tower. So now that have you taken the tower yet at your team?
I took the tower, but I died to take the tower.
Okay. Well, now that that's said and done,
once the tower is gone, and since your tower is gone as well, you have a lot more room in your lane before you have to react to things, because it has to shove all the way to your tier 2 tower now before it becomes a problem. It has to shove all the way to their tier 2 tower. So, do you know how to micromanage a minion wave to get it to push in your favor?
Kill the minions on the other side. I don't. I'm not sure.
Alright, so in order to get slow push for you, what you
Oh,
want,
slow push.
yeah, you kill the casters and leave the melees alive.
Oh, okay.
This will get the minion wave to start like stacking up and slowly pushing towards the enemy. Gain like that snowball effect that you see in like the LCS. Also,
Yeah,
little,
I see.
little Irelia trick. When you're running, you're trying to run someone down and they're running through a minion wave. Once you get your Triforce, if you pop your W and Q someone while you have the Triforce proc available, if you WQ a caster minion, you'll instantly kill it, giving you the reset. You can 100 to 0
Yeah.
it, so it allows you to like run down the lane faster because that it closes distance. It gives you the second gap closer, but what it also does is gives you the rage proc from Phage, which is 60 bonus movement speed for 2 seconds, so you can run someone down as well with it. It's just little things like that that start becoming really important, you know?
I see.
It's a little more difficult 3
And
minutes.
I often see. I guess like a lot of times you can as Irelia you can try to E someone and then get like an auto and possibly two autos without them attacking you.
Yes, that's generally for when you're maxing E. That's this play style you want to have, because maxing E is certainly it's a popular strategy as well as maxing W. E is generally for higher like burst trades. So okay, so I was seeing where you're taking the tower. Um, all
I don't
right.
want to talk about it.
Yeah, so just as a confuser thing, when you're taking a tower like that under a high pressure situation, using your abilities to proc Triforce hits on the tower is not a bad idea. Like your W
Yeah.
lifesteal works against structures. So
Oh
if
yeah, you're right.
yeah, popped your W, you could have gotten a Triforce proc off that and healed for more. If you'd used your E on a minion and hit the tower, you would have gotten it faster. And each one of your casts of R, as you already know, gives you a Triforce proc. So it's just ways to take the tower down a little faster in high pressure situations.
Oh my god, other lanes are getting wrecked. I just realized this. Not good.
Yeah, you're carrying you got a lot of the kills on your team here. Like you're doing the work you need to. Gragas is not doing so hot. For some reason,
Gragas mid, I guess though. What do you expect?
he rushed to Shonius for some weird reason. And sometimes you just get the team from hell. But like when you focus more on advanced mechanics and like learning on how to roam and stuff like that, that really helps you start to be able to carry your team. Like it's hard to carry as a top laner. That's just the nature of the role. Like it's the hardest role aside from support to carry a game from in solo queue.
Oh really?
Yeah. Mid and AD carry. Mid has it easiest. Jungle has it pretty easy. AD carry's alright. It's a little harder than those two. Because, you're reliant on your team for peel, but you do so much damage that if you get ahead, you can essentially, 1x at that point.
Okay, our team almost surrendered.
Okay, so yeah, in that duel against Nasus,
He had Ignite, so kind of
yeah, but there's ways that you could have played that better too, even though we had Ignite. It was definitely still very possible for you to win that. Essentially, yeah, like I said, your Q gives you that mobility in fights, and you could have been dashing around to like caster minions and stuff, like low health minions in general. While oh my god, that E, oh my god, that Morg. Sorry, that's just amusing. But you could be dashing around to caster minions and melee minions that are low in order to kind of extend the fight. Like when you're withered, you're not attacking very much anyway. So just blade surging around and extending the time you're not fighting under wither is generally a pretty good idea. Like it also just creates distance where his ult isn't affecting you because that's percent health, true damage, magic damage, and also gives him more AD the longer it ticks on you as a champion. So being able to
I think you already.
just- huh?
Sorry. I think you already addressed this, but I can. You said I can. What is it? I can one-shot caster minions. You said?
Yes. If you use your W and have a Triforce proc available, and you Blade Surge to a caster minion, it should one-shot it for the majority of the game.
Nice.
Yeah, so like
really
that's
good
what I
tip.
mean about like dueling. You have a lot of mobility, and you need like Irelia needs to.
So I can kind of
utilize
jump
that.
around.
Yeah, like you can jump away from harmful things like Nasus ult, like Wither. You can jump away from Xin Zhao's Q until it falls off. Things like that, you know. Just anything that's
Yeah.
timed that you can wait out. Because you also do.
You're
like,
really good.
Even if you don't have like the stun on from your E, it's still a 60% slow, and that's really potent.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that I've noticed, always W before you Q, because your Q applies on-hit effects, so anything like Red Buff, Bork, Heat and Style will all proc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Blade
Yeah, I
Surge
see.
will proc another hit of true damage.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't. Oh my god, I'm screwed.
Sometimes
not
you
good.
can't, but most of the time it's generally a good idea.
Yeah, sometimes it's not good to hit W though, so because you don't want them to have lower health than you, maybe.
It's the
So
slowest-
when you E,
Yeah, if it's in that kind of tentative situation, then yeah. But you're still going to be doing like 300 to 400 damage with your Blade Surge with Triforce, so you're going to be chunking them pretty hard anyway. Just if you're using that to gap close.
okay.
If you're really looking to do that, WQ to a minion they're standing near, and then stun them so you can start wailing on them like that.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to W Q to minions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a really good tip.
Irelia is an extremely mobile frontliner. She's really hard to peel if played properly. Like their carries, like I guess they have a Morgana, but like Varus, if he didn't have that Morg mid with him, like oh my god, that's like free food for you at all points of the game. Because his ult is already gonna have a lowered effect on you due to your passive tenacity. And
Mhm.
then you just like, he has no escape. He has no way of getting away from you other than flash every 5 minutes.
Man. And one other thing is like I'm really bad. Well, like I kind of get confused. I don't know what to do in 1v2 situations with Irelia. If I have no choice but to fight it, what should I do?
You wanna go like look at this who the squishier target is and try and burst them out of the fight.
Like let's just say it's Nasus and Xin Zhao. What would I do?
You would definitely go for the Xin Zhao. He's building full damage right now, so just he does like Nasus does a lot, yeah, but just try and like kite out their CC and then turn and like burn essentially. Like the best you can go like hope for in that situation, the absolute best you can get is a 2-for-0. What you're hoping for though is a 1-for-1. If you're sending two people after you like that. That's what's
Okay.
realistic to expect.
Hmm.
Also, yeah, you could start selling your Doran's Blades and start buying more wards, because your team's vision on the map is pretty lackluster, to say the least.
Okay.
Like, pink wards are really good at this stage of the game, because they're essentially mobile objective creators. Ooh, yeah, that was a little bit of greedy of a dive on the Lux, because there's the Morg right next to her, and Morg provides a lot of peel. But, pink wards require 5 hits in order to kill, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, in that area, it denies the enemy vision of that area, so it creates pressure just by its existence. And since it requires 5 hits, it requires the enemy to at least, somewhat fight over it if you decide to defend it. So that's what I mean by like mobile objective maker in that situation, because the enemy has to clear it if they want to get vision in that area. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about that statement. They absolutely have to clear it if they want vision. Also, yeah, try and do your shopping before you revive, and you probably could have TP'd mid
Yeah.
in that situation to save a life or kill someone else. Definitely could have saved the tower, I feel. But, yeah, that's just like a... Yeah, you're starting to get a little better. Like, I'm already starting to see some improvement with the minion dashes. So, just keep that up. Keep working on that. Like, that's some
Oh my
more
God.
advanced Irelia chasing mechanics stuff, though.
Wow, I'm so fed. Yeah,
Yes, champions.
I'm gonna have to carry this game.
No doubt about it. Like, you have to carry through the mid game until E gets strong enough to just 1v5.
Gragas just said, we are unworthy. Irelia.
That's funny. He's definitely unworthy if he's going for fucking Roa as a second item. My god.
It's more like if he's going Gragas mid.
I mean, it's unorthodox, but it's not the worst. Like, Gragas isn't terrible. He's just outshined by other champions. But he's definitely not god awful or anything. It's just that he's got a weird build path.
I like Gragas top more than I like Gragas mid, personally.
He's gonna do fine either way, but like, a very nice 1v1 on that Nasus, by the way. I feel like he just is fine either way, honestly. Like, I think he has more place mid than top now, because he's just... That was really greedy going on that Varus. And that Lucian should have cancelled his culling and just autoed.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't he cancel?
Double gun Obama, please. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, cause you get hit by any more scale shots. Holy shit.
So against this team, what should my next item be if I have Guardian Angel, Frozen Heart, Trinity, and Merc Treads?
If you need to carry, I'd recommend just getting like a Bork.
Really?
Yeah, because you need the damage. Like, being able to assassinate that Varus is top priority right now.
Opposed to like a Randuin's?
Yeah.
You'd actually go.
Like in this situation, because you're the team's carry at this point. Like, if there was someone else that was strong on your team and able to, you know, do damage, I'd say then go Randuin's or something like that, tankier. But right now, you really just need to, like, pack a punch. You know
Oh,
what I
that's so
mean?
cool. Yeah, you're right. I'm glad you're right about the whole, what is it called? Killing caster minions.
Yeah.
It worked.
It's really useful.
And that only works if you have Trinity, though, right?
Yeah, it won't work with Sheen. Alright, I'm gonna
Cool.
pause and be right back. Getting some heartburn, so I'm gonna
Alright.
take some Tums real quick. Be back.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Good. It's fine. It really annoys me how they nerfed Blade of the Rune King range.
Yeah, but
I really dislike that.
it was just way too good on 80 carries. Like, you could keep anyone on like a 12-foot pole with it.
So, and then after Blade of the Rune King,
Then
then what?
probably your Randuin's or
Randuin's? Do you ever go Sunfire on
not really.
Irelia?
No, it's Sunfire. Like it's just not that good anymore unless you rush it. Just getting at this
How
late in
about
the game.
Spirit Visage?
Spirit Visage is alright. Banshee should probably be a little better in this situation if you were to get that, like an MR, a cowl item. Because they have 2 skill shot CCs, and it just would be better if you didn't get hit by them. You know? It's also good against like burst assassins like LeBlanc or Fizz. Spirit Visage though if you just need MR.
Oh my god. I just got wrecked.
Okay. So at the 30-minute mark, your team like kills 3 people or 2 people in mid lane and starts pushing. You look like you're trying to go back. I don't actually know what you're doing here. Like you're just kind of like going back, canceling, going back, canceling. You should be like probably applying pressure on top lane, just because you know by virtue of having 2 people dead, they're gonna be, you know, down. Like they need to. It'll help thin out the amount of people they're able to send to stop your team from pushing. But they get the tower anyway. But that's just like a thing for future reference. Applying that split push pressure is really good in that situation, especially if you don't need to 100% B. You're just doing it because like you want an item or something.
And this is really hard to get their back line because they have Morgana and Lux protecting
Yeah,
the Varus.
like I
Plus
said,
Varus ult.
yeah, like I said, it was gonna be a doozy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Alright, so a little tip for you here. When you blade surge on the caster minion next to somebody, don't blade surge on them immediately. Just use equilibrium strikes and walk up to them.
Yeah.
Because you'll be able to move a little faster and use the blade surge after like if they burn a gap, like
Yeah.
a flash or something like that to close that gap. That's just
You're right.
something I've been noticing that you do. Is that you have a lot of outplay potential in your kit. Like Irelia's kit just is really good for dueling. So taking advantage of that really is key. That Nasus got fucking wrecked. Yeah. Also, I've noticed that you're eating. Oh, my friend who's watching noticed that you've eaten a lot of skill shots. So work on like in the future, just try and work on dodging those a little bit better.
Okay.
Sometimes you just get like have an off game, you just get fucking hit by everything, and god damn it, why me?
Yeah.
It's the same like with farming. Sometimes you just like don't farm well, and there's like no rhyme or reason. You just kind of fail miserably at it.
Yeah, I noticed that when I'm trying to like chase Morgana, I gotta sidestep some Qs and stuff.
Yeah. This
Lux,
thing is like that.
Lux and Morgana gotta sidestep a lot of.
Yeah, that's a lot of snares that you gotta get around.
Yeah, Varus, Lux,
More.
and Morgana.
But what about all those Xin Zhao skill shots?
Yeah, you can dodge his ults.
Okay. Alright, so you're trying to get on the Varus here, but you're actually, like, what you did here is you dove way too deep. You were way too far ahead of your team in this situation.
Yeah.
Like, you should have probably
Yeah.
gone back, helped finish off the Xin Zhao, and waited for them to walk up with you before diving in like that. Because
Yeah,
you
you're
were,
right.
like, a full screen ahead of anyone else.
Too deep.
Yeah, way too deep. 3 deep, 5 me.
Sweet. Oh, they got Baron. This really sucks.
Where'd you put that pink ward that you had? I didn't see it.
I put it kind of near my red.
Okay.
I don't know if that was a good spot for it. Probably not, but
Yeah, since you guys are being pushed in, that is a good spot for it. It gives you constant vision of your upper jungle, which is where they're focusing most of their attention. It'll also help clear
Okay.
vision there for them, so that's alright.
is planned then in that case.
That's a really odd warding pattern that they have.
Okay, so
Morgana just fucking abandoned ship. She flashed when she didn't need to.
oh my god. Okay, they're at our final tower. Yeah. Oh my god, Master Yi got caught out. So by Bar Assault. So got to make the plays here.
Interested to see what happens.
I keep forgetting that. I keep thinking I'm playing at Kali, so I try to Q to jump or whatever. Not Q, I mean.
Tar.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I feel like you guys could have probably never mind.
We're about to lose.
I feel like in that mid lane, like after you guys killed Zin and Nasus, you guys could have just baroned. Without, like, if you didn't get caught like a tard. And Morg hasn't died all game.
Oh yeah, she hasn't. Still.
Your Morg has like this really weird build. And hasn't died either.
oh yeah, that's true too. It's weird.
Morganas, I swear.
You usually get Elixir of Wrath if you get to Elixir.
I usually go Wrath if I need the damage, or just Iron usually to break, like, cause the CC reduction is just ridiculous. Like, you get hit by a CC and by the time you can blink, it's already off.
It stacks with Home Guard? I mean, Merc Treads?
Yeah, stacks with Merc Treads and your
Oh, I
passive
had no idea.
tenacity and the
Okay,
tenacity
we're about to
and-
die. We're about to lose. I
and
can't stop
tenacity you get
Nasus.
from the defense tree if you choose to go down it.
We just lost. Nasus TP'd right next to our Nexus.
That's
and I can't do
unfortunate. There's nothing you can do about that. You're like this is definitely the case of the team. There are situations where you probably could have carried a little harder, but yeah, Rylai's, Roa, Zhonya's fucking Gragas. Not sure how I feel about that.
You should, did you see the last fight though? I
No,
think I
not
did
yet.
it kind of, I chased a little bit too hard on the Morgana. I should have probably went back and helped stop Nasus. But other than that, I think I played it pretty well.
I'll just give you commentary about what I see. If you want, you can tune into my stream and kind of see it as it plays by as well.
Can
Muted,
you
of
link it?
course. It should be my status right now, right? It's just twitch.tv/Icenari, my summoner name.
Okay, one sec.
Yeah, not really much to comment on at this point. Oh, yep, you get caught by Verisol. Okay, there's that.
Oh, I see myself. Oh, that's cool.
So I feel like you didn't need to Blade Surge onto that Lux there. You were within E range. You could have saved it for maybe getting out of this fight. which you still have the chance
Yeah,
to be able to
I
do.
I didn't mean to. That's why I said that didn't mean to. I thought it was a collie.
Okay, well, yeah, like, you did overchase in the morgue a little bit. I can't tell if you're just running from the Nasus or trying to save the morgue. Or chase the morgue. Yeah, you chased the morgue way too hard that fight. You should just turn right back around the second you saw Nasus and chasing you anymore.
Yeah,
Ah, you played
I
that
messed
fight
up there.
pretty well, though, right? Aside from that
They didn't.
chase.
They didn't even pop my GA.
Like, there's things you could have done better, like, you know, you could have made that fight a lot crisper and cleaner, but for the most part, you got your job done. But yeah, definitely try not to open with Blade Surge as much as you can, because it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's your only gap closer. Once you use it, you're kind of stuck for a little while till it's back up. And then this is where the teleport happens in a couple seconds, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I see it and I can't do anything. I do everything, but it's.
Not enough.
I was like, I went back to buy and I was kind of like looking at all the items and then I saw it go down. I was like, no. I was the only one there.
This is why sweepers are important, especially for your own base. Yeah, I can hear it right now. Oh yeah, there's just nothing you can do about that. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. That's why you like to use sweepers in your base, especially if you're up against like a TP Nasus like that. Because you don't want to have a ward stuck there that he can TP to.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, like that was just like working on some of the like more advanced things, like, you know, the whole minion dashing concept. Not using your blade surge prematurely, since you tend to like to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Just like little things like that. Like, you played the game up fairly well. It's just like coming down to little things like, you know, how you team fight, and that's, you only played like, this is your fourth game on Irelia or whatever you said.
Yep.
Yeah, learning how to team
Third
fight.
regular.
Yeah, it's just gonna come by learning how to. Learning that's just gonna come by playing or more, and learning what your role in a fight is. Like, each fight is dynamic and changes what you need to be doing. So, just assessing the situation that you and your team are currently in and reacting to that is really important. Because sometimes you may need to dive super deep, sometimes you may need to not dive as deep, like in that top lane team fight, which you guys could have easily won if you weren't out in the middle
Yeah, I
of,
messed up.
if you weren't out in Africa.
I kind of thought that they would have Zinzao, like they'd just kill him really fast because they like all like went on him.
You're the
so I
only
thought he
one
was
on
just
your
dead.
team who was doing damage, so it's just really unfortunate that no one else could. But yeah, that's really all I have to say as of right now. Like, just like more games and working on some of that more advanced stuff, because like, you got the basics of essentially like laning and stuff down. You just need to work on your champion specific mechanics now, and just that's the kind of stuff I was bringing up earlier. So like, you started
Right.
to do more minion dashing later into the game, which is really good. So just keep working on things like that, and you'll find yourself playing with her a lot better. So, if you
Yeah,
have any
thank you.
final questions to wrap this up, feel free to ask now.
I just wanted to say that it was a lot of help, like you telling me that using my W then queuing to a minion would kill it, because I had no idea, and I kind of always wondered how Irelia is killed, like, you know, did the double dash, so I had no idea.
Yeah,
So that was a lot of help.
yeah, if you want, alright, this is my little self-whoring segment of the lesson, so I apologize. If you ever want another coaching session, feel free to just sign right back on up at a later date. If you want me to critique your play again on whatever, or we can work on something completely different, like a different champion or just a different aspect of the game, that's all fine. If you enjoyed the coaching, please rate. That's about all I have, though, for the self-whoring segment. So I just like to get that out of the way at the end.
Yeah, it was really good. You're a really good coach. Thank you.
Thank you. I've only been doing it for like 2-3 days now, and you know, I still have a lot to learn. I go back and I watch stuff that I do to see what I can improve on as a coach too. So any criticism I always like taking as well, because it helps better me.
I can't think of anything. Just great.
Thank you. So yeah, that's it for me. Like I said, if you want more lessons, feel free to schedule later down the line. I recommend if you want to do Irelia again, not scheduling like tomorrow or something like that, but giving yourself a few days to practice what we talked about
Right.
before showing back up. Like I have a couple other players who signed up a couple days after theirs again. So like Saturday, I have 5 hours in a row of this. Just kill me now. Uh,
Oh my god.
but my voice is gonna be done after that. But yeah. So if you want to, feel free. I'm available. And yeah, that's it for me. You did
Okay.
really well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, I'll talk to you
Eventually,
later. And
I'll practice her. Thank you.
if you have any questions,
see.
feel free to just message me on the coaching site or on League, and I'll get back to you as soon as I see
Okay.
it. Alrighty.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Alright, we're done.